dailies, so I figured I could record and show you some leveling stuff for the low level stuff, and then, doing dailies with my high level stuff, because most of my other classes are 90. Except for, most of my, I don't have a lot of tanks leveled because I don't like tanking. I'm just not very good at it. But all my healers are level 90, and then a lot of my DPS are 90. And I have some glams, or in Final Fantasy XIV they're called glamours, which is essentially Final Fantasy XIV's version of transmog. I have some transmog to show off because I made some really cool outfits and stuff. You also may notice that well, I guess I'm doing this now. You also may notice that my character looks different because I did something I said I was thinking about doing and made a character. I made a character so that all the armor is more proportional. Because my previous character was a Lalafell, which is essentially the best way to kind of put it or equate it is like the Hobbit, or like the Halfling class, or not class, race. It's like the Halfling race in Final Fantasy XIV. So yeah, I wanted to change to a race that the armor would look more proportional on, because the armor and glamours and all that stuff I was going for would just look better. So yeah, I made myself a hot chick because that's what you do. Right? Oh my god, I might die from this. Let's see if we can... I haven't used a potion in so long. I'm surprised that was doing so much damage. Okay, so it resets. I mean, that's fine. I wasn't here for a fate anyway. Alright, get out of here. Man, I wonder if I held out, if I would have gotten Bloodbath back. Either way, I don't want to find out, because I'm not here for that. So what I'm doing is, oh my god. My Chocobo. No, don't fight him. What I'm trying to do and failing miserably at is complete my hunting log. Because when you're in the early levels of Final Fantasy XIV, something that's really beneficial, or a really good source of XP, is your hunting log. You can go up entire levels from just a few entries, getting a few entries completed in your hunting log. So let's see. Right now, okay, so I've done everything here. Everything else is going to be on the other side. I don't think there's anything over here, so everything else is going to be over here. So your hunting log is essentially a log of monsters, creatures, whatever you want to call them, things that you see in the overworld. And that some of them will have a little symbol above their name, and those are monsters that you need to kill for your hunting log. And as you can see, each one of the completions gives you a certain amount, and then a total completion of the hunting log gives me 10,000 XP. And as you can see right now, 10,000 XP would be basically an entire level. So I'm just kind of going around these places. I could do this more efficiently and look up, I see where they are. They're in Western Thanalan, which is where I'm at. I could do this more efficiently and actually look up what region they're in, so I could look at the map and go to those places. But honestly, I'm just gonna kind of fly around. I don't want to use too much of my brain power right now. It's early on a Saturday. It's gonna be a long weekend. I just, I'm kind of in the mood to relax. Okay, so see, here's one. See, it says giant tortoise, and then it has this little symbol above his name, which means that this is a monster that I have to defeat in order to gain stuff. So that's what I want to focus on right now. So that's what I'm going to focus on. But yeah, I'll show you some of the classes I've gotten a high level now, which I'm really excited. One class particularly is the class I started with at Dragoon, and I have it in a really, really cool place. It looks like very, very awesome right now. I love the way I have everything set up. I don't know, it's very cool, and I'm very happy with it. Where'd my Chocobo go? He must have died when he fought the big crab. So as you can see there, I got level up, Western Thanalan, Horizon's Edge. Horizon's Edge. Oh, that is going to be over here, isn't it? Maybe not. Oh no, it's up here. Okay, I can get up there. And then I think that's the last one for Western Thanalan. And then I can move on to Eastern Thanalan. So basically what I'm doing here is just completing the hunting log to get the XP that I need to get the levels that I need, so that then I can do what are called class quests. And those class quests get you very important abilities that you use in battle. And also they're just a good source of XP, but mostly you want to do them because you get some gear. Usually the gear isn't all that great. But you get gear and you get, I'm looking for a bomb, right? Horizon's Edge. Whoops. You think bombs would be pretty recognizable. You get gear, like, sets at like level, I think like 60, oh, there they are. At level like 60, at level 60, 70, and 80, I think you get gear sets that are like specific to the class. But they might not actually be class specific. Well, no, they're definitely class specific. At least Dragoon was. Dragoon was class specific. Because you couldn't equip it on Reaper. I think it was just Lancer Dragoon only. So I want to say, and yeah, like I think it's all class specific. Like Scholar was class specific, Astro was class specific. So you get like class specific armor, which is pretty cool. Oh, glide bomb. I don't think this will count. I'm targeting the wrong thing. I just need regular bomb. So yeah, you want to do them mostly for the weapon skills, and the weapon skill stuff are things that will appear on your hotbar. Those are like other abilities, and they're very important. And then also it's how you end up equipping your class stone, which will go right here. It's your soul crystal, and essentially right now as a pugilist, that's just a starting job. Once you hit level 30, you equip a class stone, which will go here, and you get more abilities and stuff. So if I played as a pugilist up to level 90, I would have very limited skills and abilities. Once you equip the class stone at level 30 and become a monk, which is like the next level of pugilist, that's when you get, it opens the door to all the other abilities and stuff, kind of like your end game abilities, which it's levels 30 through, I think you continue getting stuff through level like 80 or 90 maybe even. Yeah, well, I'll do it on another class. I don't want to reveal all of my stuff yet because all my characters look, I'm very happy with a lot of how my characters look. see, so like with Pugilist, I have kind of stuff bound, or the key binding set up in a different way than I have. My Pugilist different from Gladiator. I keep wanting to say Paladin. I might just say like Monk and Paladin because that's what they end up being. Yeah, it's set up differently. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but most of my tanks have like a 3-step combo. So I just kind of set up ERF as like an easy way for me to remember the steps without having to look at the keybinds down here, the hotbars. So I'm assuming that's what Paladin is gonna have. I don't know yet though. Obviously I haven't locked enough abilities. But yeah, so that's why they're different. I think Monk is gonna have more. So I start Monk on the mouse buttons and then go into QERF. It'll probably be mouse buttons ERF, depending on how long the combos are. But most tanks, or a lot of tanks I know, have like a 3-step combo. So it's like I'll just do ERF because it's easy to remember. So that's why they're set up differently as of now. But kind of one of the reasons I like this game is it's all a learning experience. So as you play the job, as you play the class, you figure out kind of what the combos are and how the steps work, and then you can set them up intuitively for yourself, in your hotbars and keybinds, which is kind of half the fun of playing the game. Not half the fun, but it is part of the fun of playing the game. Okay, so we gotta get turtles, and then we have to go to the footfalls, and then, yeah, we have to go to the footfalls. Okay. So we can get the turtles here. We remember where the turtles are. And then we go back to the footfalls for the crabs and the little snail tentacle thingies. Actually, there was a tortoise over here. Oh, provoke. Okay. That's something I never use, so we'll just put that over here. Whoops. I really should have just been pressing E and R there. It's easy enough, but I was just auto-attacking. Nope, 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 nope. Yep. Accidentally equipped leather worker there. That would not have been fun. Okay, there should be a tortoise right here. Oh, and then did I forget about the tortoise up top? I did. Oh, I gotta head back anyway, so. Why is my MP so low? Does this have an MP cost? That's weird. Okay, so we go get this turtle. That'll end the turtle entry. And then we go to the footfalls, and that should wrap up what we need to do here. Alright, so got that. Central. Okay, that's footfalls. East. Oh, western Thanel. Footfalls. Oh, and on my way back I can go get those with the Pugilist, because I forgot about that on the Pugilist as well. The bloated whatever. So we go down here. I just gotta remember to try to avoid those fates. I just don't want to have to deal with that. Okay, so there it is. And honestly, as a tank, I could probably fight, Let's regain some health. Although I guess, oh, I actually do have the healing abilities on this one. So, we're done here. We can do our next quest, but I am going to, instead go to, this home base. I want to show you some of my glams on some of my other characters. This is as good a place as any. So this is my favorite so far. This is my Dragoon, and so what I ended up doing is I ended up grinding for a relic weapon. This is the relic weapon for the first expansion, Heaven's Ward. It is it's the highest level, or like the highest iteration level weapon. And it's the Dragoon's lance. It's called what is it? Like Ardbert. Oh, we can see. It's like something Lux, Ardbert Lux. A red bar Lux. It's the replica, obviously. The replica is one that you can put, well, it doesn't matter. But basically, yeah, I got this and I was like, you know, it looks very like, you know, it's white, which reminded me of like, you know, like some sort of holy or like purity. So I was thinking like some sort of holy lancer type look, holy dragoon. So something, you know, white. And yeah, so I remembered from leveling earlier, there was the Slipstream set looked very like Valkyrie. So yeah, and I did look up some inspiration from the Eorzea collection, which is like an online glamour compendium, or you know, it's a place where people post their glamours. But yeah, so like I saw something that was basically this, and I was like, I want to do that. One change I made is I tried to get so the chest armor is as a dual die or double die, so you can use 2 die. So the first die I used obviously to make it white, and the second die is like up here in the chest area, or you know, like chest to neck. And this was like just kind of like blue black-ish, and I made it so it matches these little wings on the side that are like this lavender purplish color. So I made this is plum purple dye. So basically I dyed everything pure white. Everything is pure white, including the lance itself. And then this, the chest armor, I dyed plum purple. And I think it looks really good. So the head armor is like the Republican Eki's headgear. You can see it switches, so like this is what it actually is, and then when it switches to the white naming convention, you see as my cursor is hovered over the item, that's the head armor, it shows you first in green what it actually is, and then in white, when that name pops up, that is what it's glamored or transmogrified to look like. So the actual armor is that, you know, the stats reflect the Diadokos headband of maiming, and then the glam is chest armor is the Dragon Lancer's Placard. The gauntlets and the feet armor, the hand armor and the foot armor is the Slipstream, the augmented Slipstream set, and then the leg piece or the leg armor is Hemiskin Brias of Maiming, which I love. I'm a big fan of flaps. I said that in my other video. I just love flaps. I think flaps in the front and back look really, really cool. So yeah, that's my like holy dragoon, which is in stark contrast to my Reaper, which, well, looks like a Reaper. Looks like a very edgelord Reaper armor. So right now I just have the level, so at level 89 you get like a free set of armor that's class or job specific. So this is all just the Reaper gear at level 89. And then I have it glamored. So the head armor is it's the Tombstone armor, it's the augmented Crypt Lurkers Maiming head armor. The chest armor is the Heirloom Jacket of Maiming. The arm guards are the augmented Crystarium Gauntlets of Maiming. The leg armor is the Hemiskin Briar set. And then the foot armor is the Heirloom Greaves of Maiming. And then I have it all dyed jet black. The weapon. Wait a minute. Why is this? I should unglamour this. Because I think the Death Sickle would probably look better. I think this is just part of the, but yeah, I think the Death Sickle would look better, because this is just the augmented, this is just like the Tombstone gear for, what is that, Shadowbringers, and the Death Sickle actually looked cool, so I can actually show you right now, like, glamour stuff. So right now I'm going to, like, a barracks room, and in the barracks room there's this glamour dresser, and in the glamour dresser is where you keep all of your like sets and stuff. So my Reaper, where the hell's my Reaper? There's my Reaper. Oh, it's because it's way more Reaper-esque, right? Hell yeah. So yeah, and the Death Sickle, this can be dyed, but like it's already fine as is. So yeah, that is my Reaper. Hold on, we're just gonna get back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to step away for a second. So that's my Reaper, and I kind of like that, like, my Dragoon is, like, you know, like, white, and, like, looks very much like a good guy, and then my Reaper is, like, very edgelord, you know, very, like, dark, I don't know. I think, like, Dragoon, also just, like, looking, like, it looks very, like, Valkyrie and stuff, like, I think Dragoon also just looking like a Dragoon is cool, but I'm happy with what I have now. What else do I have? My Astro looks pretty cool. Astro looks very, I don't know, refined. I think this might end up being, this might end up being, like, the glamour for my Scholar. Because my mind, like, Scholar is very, like, refined, like an academic astrologian. I think is more like your earthy, like, you know, believes in the power of crystals and, like, energies and astrology, you know, like, what sign you are. So I think my Astro is going to end up being more like that type vibe. still trying to figure out. I have an idea of where I'm gonna go with that, but I need to get to Dawntrail because there's dungeons in Dawntrail that give armor sets or like pieces of armor that have that very like one with nature, vibe. My sage, I don't really have an idea of what I'm gonna do with my sage yet. And then my last glamour is my slut glamour, and I think it's hilarious because my sluttiest glamour is on my white mage. Yeah, I don't think I need to say anything else. I just think that that's funny. But yeah, Dragoon I think is like the one I'm most proud of. I love this one. I think it looks so fucking cool. And also like grinding for this relic weapon was just, it took forever, if I'm being honest. So I'm just very happy with how it ended up. And the work I had put into it. But yeah, I love this look. Yeah, and that's basically all I have. Everything else, like I have Gunbreaker. This is Gunbreaker. I want to have this. I mean, this is just like some random set you get through the MSQ, but this is very much in line with like what I want to do with Gunbreaker. I want to have a very like steampunky, and I think this might end up what I end up doing with Sage. So I think like my white mage is going to be my slut because I think that's hilarious. Like the white mage, like the purest class ends up being like my sluttiest class. I just find that funny. Sage, I think I want to do like what I'm going to do with Gunbreaker, where it's like a futuristic techie, like steampunk type vibe. Scholar will be like that refined, like I already have that done. And then Astro is going to be like the earthy, crunchy granola vibe. Gunbreaker for tanks is gonna be like the futuristic steampunk. I'll figure it out, but some sort of like futuristic techie vibe. Dark Knight, I think Dark Knight's gonna be like a Dark Knight. This is just like a base armor set, but I'm gonna figure something out for Dark Knight. But I think it's gonna be kind of like Reaper. It's gonna be like a very like edgelord, dark vibe. Warrior, I'm gonna do like very Robert Baratheon from Game of Thrones in his prime. Like I actually have the set. This might not end up being the final set, if I'm being honest. I think there's some tweaking, but like it's for certain the helmet I'm gonna use. So it's this one. So this is gonna be like my warrior basically. Definitely using the helmet. And then like I don't know. I'm gonna figure out the armor, but like I think the greaves and helmet have to stay, and then I'll figure something else out for like the leg armor and the chest armor. I don't think it necessarily has to be this exact set. I like mixing and matching sets to my own vibe, but that'll be what my warrior ends up looking like because I want my warrior to like look like a warrior. And they have a two-handed axe, just very barbaric and cool. And then like Paladin, I haven't even planned out Paladin. I think Paladin being like the white mage. I think Paladin being like, I think like doing that more risque would be funny because Paladin and white mage being my most unabashedly horny classes, I think would be hilarious. Dancer, right now this is just like the base level 89 armor, or like outfit or whatever. I have a few ideas for Dancer, but I need to get a higher level. Dancer, I definitely want to do like on brand, like I want to do like something elegant and dancery, similar to like what the Dancer class looks like in other games and stuff, like Octopath Traveler and other Final Fantasies. And then and I have Summoner is going to be like kind of like granola, one with nature type vibe. But I need to get to Dawntrail for that one too. And then the rest of them, I don't really have an idea of what I'm doing with the rest of these classes. So yeah. But yeah. And actually, I could just make my scholar look like a scholar, or, you know, do my glam for scholar. And then, yeah, Astro, yeah, I still need to figure out, but, well, no, Astro I have figured out, but I need to get to Dawn Trail, and I'm at Post Endwalker MSQ right now, so I'm about to hit Dawn Trail, but then, you know, I gotta get through Dawn Trail. So yeah, those are all my classes. That's what they look like right now. Dragoon is by far the one I'm the most proud of because I think this armor set looks so fucking cool. It's the only class I have a relic weapon for. And then, yeah, so I need to do my dailies. So I guess you can tag along for that. If you'd like to. Let's see here. What do man, I should be leveling my, what dancer's 90? 50, 60, 90. All my healers are 90. My gunbreaker's 90, and I think all of these guys are 90. And then, yeah, and then I have, like, these guys are just a smattering at different levels. I think Machinist is, like, 60-something. Well, I mean, for now, you can actually tag along while I go. Actually, you know what? This is 57. Yeah, we'll do a leveling dungeon. Oh man, I haven't played Warrior in a bit, so this could be bad. And I don't like tanking, just in general, but if it's under a level 57 dungeon, I should be fine. Generally, under level 57, like, I don't know, dungeons in general are pretty easy. They're not, like, too difficult, as long as you have a decent healer, and as long as you're, like, have your enmity increased ability on, you should be fine. And I've done all the low-level dungeons so often that, like, I should be able to, you know, pull pretty quickly. Or at least pull efficiently. What I like about this axe is I have a special one that has, like, these ice particles. At the end of the day, I mean, I guess it's worth it just because it looks cool, but so yeah, I want to get this guy to level 60. Can I do high level? I think I can do high level. Yeah, high level starts at 50, which means it would be what, Midgard Zormer or Fenrir, which I've done those so many times I could probably tank that. The only way I could ever tank is, like, if I've done it a lot of times and I know generally how it works, like Alliance raids, I could probably do, like Labyrinth of the Ancients, I know pretty well. Circus Tower's easy. And also you can always, like, let somebody else main tank and just be an off, you know, off tank. Oh, Sistasha, okay. Well, this is gonna be kind of boring to watch, because Sistasha, you barely have any any skills, so there's nothing really to show off. Oh my god, I hit the wrong target. a special, some of them you get a special currency called tomestones. Those tomestones you can trade in for armor. They're also used to get a lot of relic weapons, specifically the Heavensward relic weapon. You need to spend like so much, you have to spend like over 10,000 relics, tomestones to get the relic weapon. Basically trade in tomestones for other materials. Those materials you trade in for things to like upgrade and then finish the relic weapon. It's crazy. But yeah, basically you do these every day. You get some bonus XP, bonus gil, and the tomestones, and those. Those are what you use. Yeah, for relic weapons, gear, and stuff like that. But obviously the XP in and of itself is extremely valuable because you level up. And I think until, for the next probably 20 days, maybe 15 days left, I have this road to 90 bonus, because I switched to, at the time, a low pop server. I should have pulled these guys, I don't know what I was thinking. But now it's congested, but I still got the bonus, so that's kind of nice. So yeah, I'm basically doing it for XP. I'm hoping to get as many classes as I can up to level 90 before the buff wears off, which we had 90 days of it, and we're getting close to 90 days. So it was 90 days from when we switched, and I forget when that was, but yeah. And then I also had the bonus XP for level 90 earrings and stuff, so getting a lot of bonus XP, so it's good to cash in on that while you can, you know. So that these abilities over here are what I sorted them here because they're all what it's called mitigation abilities, abilities that mitigate damage. And so typically what I'll do is pull as many enemies as I can. Some people do what's called wall-to-wall pulling, meaning they pull every enemy from one place in a dungeon to the next place. I typically don't do that, especially with players I don't play with. When I'm doing daily roulettes and I'm not playing with a friend who's a healer or something, you can't rely necessarily, or you can't really ask somebody like a healer to be able to handle that. So I typically just do as much as I think they can handle. I won't do one fight at a time, but I'm also not going to pull everything wall to wall. So like right now, I'm just going to pull these guys in, and we'll deal with those guys later. I'll pop a mitigation, and then we're just going to, I hit my damage buff, and then swing away. This healer has been a little bit slow. Has let me go low. I haven't died yet though, and that's what's important. So like, they can handle it, but I get close to death, which is like, if I die, that's kind of a wipe. So it's like, either they're good enough to know they can let me get low and then heal me, or they might be a little slow. Either way, it doesn't matter, as long as we're kind of staying alive. And these are the only guys you need to pull in this dungeon. You don't need to pull anybody else. Or not this dungeon, but in this room. Like all these guys over in the periphery that you can see over there do not need to be pulled. You can just pull these guys. I know this because I've done this dungeon a million times. The problem with going server with newer players is a lot of the times the dungeons and stuff and the alliance raids that you end up doing are all the early game stuff. So like that, this is like one of the, I think this is the first dungeon in the game. And so the reason we're doing that is because it's newer players, so a lot of them are starting new characters and starting new classes, so they're going to be kind of early in their Final Fantasy 14 journey, which, you know, it can be a kind of a pain sometimes because you're doing the same dungeons and it's all early level content. So the stuff that you're doing with your character is, you know, all stuff that is limiting of your abilities because it sinks you down to the level of the dungeon. So you're only going to be able to have, you know, the access to the abilities you had at that time, which, you know, can be pretty frustrating. But, you know, because you want to use all your abilities. Everything you've unlocked, you want to be able to use. But there we go. That's Sastasha done. Alright. So let's get out of here. If you ever play 14, just make sure you do a commendation at the end. It's always nice to let people know. I think I just did one, and I gave it to the healer. But it's always nice to just let people know, you know, they did a good job or whatever, even if, you know, that was fine. I probably did the worst out of all of us. I kind of messed up at the beginning. But once I found my feet and remembered kind of all the steps of the class, I was fine. Okay, so we're level 58. It's a leveling dungeon. I could probably tank MSQ. But if I get Praetorium, it takes so long. MSQ gives a lot of XP, and then so does. So the ones that give the most XP are Leveling Dungeon gives a lot, Main Scenario gives a lot, and Alliance Raid gives a lot. You should probably be able to get a level or two out of those three. So on any given character, on any day, you should be able to get at least 1 to 2 levels between all three, if not one level, but, you know, one level for each. And then, like, a high level is good for the tomestones, not really good for XP. Trials are really not that great, period. They give not a lot of XP, not a lot of gil, not a lot of stuff. And then normal raids are just good for poetics. And then frontline is actually really good for XP. So I might do that. I have no idea. I just did this for the first time last night. I have fucking no clue. So it's PvP, which is player versus player. And I had no idea what I was doing. And like it resets your keybinds and hotbar to like a totally different setup, and I had no fucking clue what I was doing. So I'd like to learn, so I'm not like a liability, and increases the chance of me winning, so I get more currency. But at the end of the day, I'm just kind of there for XP, because I got a ton. I got like 1,000,000 XP on my Dragoon, which like my Dragoon, you know, I need 13 million, so like 1,000,000 is nothing to scoff at. 1,000,000's like, that's good XP, you know. So yeah. But yeah, this is basically what I do every day. You log in, you do your dailies, you get a ton of XP, and then, you know, and then there's some other stuff that actually I'm not going to really be able to do, unfortunately. They're called the Society quests. I think they used to be called Tribal quests, but I think, like, you know, the word tribal has some, I don't know if, like, I think tribal, you know, it's like they're actual tribes in the world that might not necessarily enjoy the fact that that word is being used in that way, because it's used to refer to these, like, beast man tribes that are very, like, I don't want to say unintelligent, but they're very, like, primal, you know, they're very, like, animalistic, and, so, like, I think that, the association of that word with those people kind of, insinuates that that's what that means, and obviously in our world, you know, they're Native American tribes and stuff, and they're not, you know, they're not like beasts or animals, animals. They're just human beings like the rest of us. So associating that word is kind of makes it not derogatory, but it's not a proper association of the word. So I think they renamed it from tribal quests to society quests. And I don't know why I went on that tangent of political correctness, but basically the society quests, most of them don't give a lot of really good XP. Most of them give pretty shit XP, but the later level ones, like Endwalker, and I think the ones in Dawn Trail, which I don't have yet, but the ones in Endwalker give a really good amount of XP. So if you have any characters in the 80s, which obviously I kind of don't, I got all mine to 90, except for my tanks. And the ones that I don't have, it's like 61, and this one's, 58, so I have a ways to go before I get there, but they give a lot of XP. So if you have any characters in level 80, the Endwalker Society quests will give you like 2 million per quest, and they're short quests. So doing those is huge and really good. So yeah, I think that's what I'm kind of like working on right now, is just getting classes. I guess I want to get my Pugilist, and I could work on Machinist. I just don't really love Machinist as a class. It just wasn't enjoying it. I still have to unlock Red Mage and Black Mage and stuff, but it's going to be a while before those get to, in the 80s, right? Because Black Mage has to start at level 1 as a Thaumaturge. I have no idea where I even start or what I even start for Red Mage. And then there's also Bard. I don't even know if I want to start Bard. Maybe I just kind of want to focus on getting my tanks higher level. I barely even play tank though. I really don't like tanking. Gunbreaker's fun, because Gunbreaker feels like a DPS. I don't know. When I tank though, I feel like I would want to do some sort of thing where there's multiple tanks, so I can off tank, because I can't main tank. I get tanxiety, and I don't know. Another thing is, like, people rely on you to kind of, like, especially in dungeons and stuff, to, like, lead the way and, get the boss's attention, pull the boss to the right area. And, like, I know generally some of the places where you do that, but, there are times where, like, people get aggro from something and I don't notice, and it's like, oh, like, you gotta help me with, and it's just like, I don't know, sometimes it's like, it's a little bit my fault, but also it's like, if you start drawing aggro, like, you can run to me, like, it's not a one-way street. It's not like every time, if you're off doing DPS, far away from me, and something latches to you and starts damaging you, yeah, like, maybe I can just turn around and throw, like, one of my, my one ranged ability at it to pull it to me, so it stops DPSing you. But at the same time, you could also just move to me until it latches to me and then move away. Especially, like, if I'm busy, like tanking. So I don't know. I feel like tank is like one of those roles where it's like, if things start going wrong, you're the first person people blame. It's the same thing like with healers. If somebody dies, and like, you can't heal everything, right? Like, if somebody's getting hit by an AoE, an area of effectability, or is taking damage from a mechanic because they failed to understand where they needed to stand to avoid taking damage, like, if you're taking damage, that makes the healer's job a lot harder, especially if it's like AoE damage that like halves your health or reduces you to 1. So like, when people die because I have to split my attention because people are taking AoE damage, sometimes people are gonna die, like, I can't help that. Or sometimes people just die to mechanics, and it's like, people, things like that happen, and sometimes people blame the healers. I will say, Final Fantasy XIV is actually, the community is actually pretty good when it comes to, like, being very positive. It's not a lot of times that you'll see people getting upset when things like that happen, but I have seen every now and then people will get upset, which, it happens, but it's just, I think I don't handle that very well, because it's like, I don't always always think that I'm right, but there are a few times where it's just like, I don't know. And also, it's like not a big deal. It's like, if somebody yells at me, being like, oh, like, I'm taking damage, like, you should be able, you should be drawing the attention. It's like, okay, but like, it's not a big deal for you to just like have to run to me. That's like, you took a little bit of damage, you didn't die, and then you walked to me, and then I drew the aggro, and then like nothing happened, right? Like, you took a little bit of damage, things got hairy. I think people people get upset because they're so in pursuit of either perfection, or if things aren't going right, they get like nervous and freak out a bit. So I don't know. I think like my tankxiety, like I let it all get to me, and I really just kind of let it go, because it's just like, if people get upset, let them get upset. As long as we don't wipe, and like the whole quest or the whole run isn't ruined, it's not really a big deal. So I think I just gotta kind of let things happen and not think about it so much. At the end of the day, it is only a game. And it's not a very important one. Who am I kidding? This is the most important game I've ever played. Yeah, so that's why I don't like tanking. And when you play other games like Overwatch 2, tanking is like, well, I don't know. Overwatch 2 sucks. But, like, tank as a role in a lot of games just has that, like, important weight to it, where it just feels like you're the center of attention, and like, if you die, the rest of your team dies, so it just has that like very same. I mean, healer is kind of the same, where if like the healer dies, the team dies. But tank is just important because a little bit more important than healer, because tank is supposed to protect the healer and like draw attention away from the healer. And I just feel like tank has that, all of the weight of the entire activity, duty, dungeon run, trial, just has the full weight of it, where it's all on them, so it's just, I don't handle pressure well. God, this is taking forever for a main scenario. And so like with healer, like I know I've been a healer in a lot of games, and I really like support roles. So like, although it has a lot of pressure on it as well, I handle that pressure better because I know I can do it well. Tank is just something I just don't have the experience with to really feel that confidence in myself. And then DPS, I think DPS is probably the least pressure. I mean, DPS can have pressure because there can be things like DPS checks where it's like you have to do a certain amount of damage or else it's a wipe. But I feel like DPS just has a little bit less pressure overall on it, because it's just, you have one job really, it's just dealing DPS, whereas like healer and tank, you have to heal and deal DPS. Okay, Castrum, this is good. Castrum Meridianum, Castrum Meridianum. So yeah. Well, at least now you can see a little bit more of the of my rotations. So like, at least I have like 2 AoE rotations, as you can see. Like, after I press Shift E, and then I can press Shift R because it lights up, because it's essentially comboing off of another one skill combos off of another. So like right now, that DPS just like sitting is kind of killing me. Like might follow you and have aggro on you, but eventually you catch up with me, they DPS and aggro me. You know, it's just, I don't know. I also have to remember, like, I guess right now it doesn't matter. I should have that on. I should use that, though. So that ability increases my damage. I forgot about that. Again, forgive me. I'm not playing my tank right now very well because I haven't played Warrior in a couple weeks. It's been a while since I decided to level this class, but I've gotten everything else to 90. I wish I showed you guys as I was leveling everything else. But basically, you know, pull him to the corner. You pull him to the corner so that you're right here and you can just leave. So yeah, I mean, this is just kind of it, right? It's a little uninteresting gameplay-wise, but unfortunately a low level, like in low level content, which, I mean, I'm only level 57, so this is where this character belongs, but I don't know. The game gets so much more interesting as you hit, like, level 70, 80, and 90. save this mitigation because I know I have a boss fight coming up. It's not much of a boss fight, but it is a boss fight. I play warrior a bit like I play my gunbreaker, where I have like this setup rather than the ERF, the typical ERF. And so the first thing I'm going to pop is this one, because it's going to give me the damage increase, and then I'm just going to go back to the my two mouse buttons, and then Q is my main. That's unfortunate. Pop a mitigation here because he's using a tank buster. Still got 30 seconds on my damage increase. I'm pulling him into the corner over here because he has an ability over there that does a lot of damage based on how close you are to it, based on proximity. Our DPS just took damage he didn't need to take, but that's fine. I'll pop another mitigation here and a damage reduction because I had another tank buster on me. Just help out my healer a little bit. And I'm gonna repop the Storm's Eye ability to get my damage buff back. And then yeah, that should just about do it. Unfortunately, well, I'm about to get another mitigation up off cooldown, so I'll just pop that, help out my healer at the start of this fight. Hopefully our DPS is capable of getting at least one of these guys down. If I was my DPS, I'd focus on getting one of the smaller, weaker guys down first. The less, enemies you have to deal with, the less prolonged amount of damage, the better. But that'd be just me. I and my other DPS, I would focus on getting this one down, one of the two down, then focus the other one, and then. But there are 3 enemies total, so maybe it's just better to just AoE. I don't know. Also depends what we have, Samurai and Black Mage. I actually don't know either of those classes. Like, I know if we had a Machinist, Machinists basically, don't have an AoE rotation. So, Machinist, you just single target damage the whole time, basically, rather than AoE. So if it's 3 enemies or if it's 12 enemies, you're pretty much doing the same thing. But like Black Mage, I have no idea what a Black Mage and Samurai are capable of, if they have AoE rotations or whatever. I only unlocked Samurai. I haven't played as my Samurai. I haven't even done a quest as Samurai yet. So my friend was telling me right here, it would be a good, just limit break these guys. Is actually, a good way to go about this, just to get this fight over with quickly. I might start doing that, but obviously as a tank, it's not a good idea, because the tank limit break is, I think, just shields. You want a DPS to limit break here, but if I was a betting man, I would say our DPS was not going to do that. I'll pop this mitigation here, because we're going to be in a couple more fights before the final boss. Final boss should be interesting for you guys to see, because you'll be able to see some AoE stuff. It's not the most intensive. I did the most intense AoE stuff I've ever done in this game. I'm seeing that they're fighting this guy, so I'm just gonna focus what they focus, rather than just trying to do my own thing and direct people. I'm just gonna kind of follow their, what they're doing, because it's the most effective way to do it. Alright, so now we're gonna have a long, prolonged cutscene that I can't skip. But I think I'm doing a pretty good job tanking this dungeon. My healer's doing pretty good. I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know how you think I'm doing. Actually, don't. Please don't give me advice in backseat game. I hate that. I always know I could be doing better, but I don't need people to tell me. I remember I posted an Overwatch video once of like me playing really poorly, and I was saying the whole time I knew I was playing poorly, but it was, sometimes you have a good day, sometimes you have a bad day. And I got like, some dude commented, and it was just like a 4-page essay about all the things I had done wrong and how to play better, and I was like, I don't post here for people to give me, I'm not here to like get feedback, necessarily. I mean, I don't know, it all is really how it's presented, like, and especially like if I'm playing with friends and friends give me feedback, that's one thing, but like I'm not posting on the internet, currying for favor. No, not currying for favor. I don't want feedback. I know I'm not great. I know I could be better. And it's my own journey to figure out how to improve. Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of an interesting way to put it. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I just don't do it. I'll figure out how to get better on my own, by watching videos or whatever I need to do, so. But like, I don't need, especially level 50 content, there's like, the difference playing better would make, we're talking about seconds, and in a dungeon, well, not really. I mean, you could really fuck up and waste a lot of time, but I'm not here seeking perfection, and I don't necessarily need. I'll just draw our attention over here. Get my damage buff going. So she does outside and inside. I'll pop a mitigation here to negate her little thingamabob. I think our guys were AFK there for a sec. Oh, he said sorry, my game was stuck. Interesting. Do I have? I don't have it. Okay. do frontline as Dragoon and level up, but it takes a long time. And I think this video is probably going to be like very long already, just based on what I did and then, you know, the dailies. So I'm going to end it here. As you can hear, Krieger just woke up, so he's going to probably start bothering me. He's going to start making me a proud and happy cat parent because I love him so much. You never bother me, big guy. You never bother me. You're the bestest kitty in the whole world. I love you so much. Come here. Come here. Oh, he just plopped down on my desk. So yeah, this is probably a good time to call it quits. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody who subscribed to the channel. Thank you for joining me as I did my MSQ, not MSQ, as I did my duty roulettes for the day. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much.